getting shorter here. It's quite surprising how much it's changed. We got the sun just set a bit ago, so it will soon be dark. I was really hoping to show you guys a little bit of what I was doing here before it got dark. Working on the wood house. Got the poles in, and the first wall of the house started putting up. So what my plan is, I want to put 1-inch boards on the wall here, and then I will build the same here, 1-inch boards on the outside here, and this time I'll build the inside wall at least halfway up. Hey Brett. Because last time I built a wood house, my wood wanted to push the bottom wall out here at the bottom in the way of the logs, or lumber I should say, or wood. Yeah, so we just got back from visiting the Millers. We were over at Levi Miller's and visiting, and it got kind of late, and I didn't realize how late it was getting. Hey Pete. Let's see, let me turn this around one more time. So that's what I'll do, I'll build an inside wall later, but right now I just want to get the main frame up and get the roof over it. So we got the metal here. You guys probably knew I went to California to work for a week and made enough money to buy the metal. So we have all the metal for the wood house, the house, and the porch. Yeah, that's the... If anybody has any questions, just ask me. I'll try to answer the best I can. And if anybody wants to do a live chat, let me know. I have an easier time when I feel like I'm actually talking to somebody. I mean, I know there's people here, but it's harder when I can't see somebody for some reason. The live stream. I'm gonna let him get that too, Maha. Come on. Well, when we got home, it looked like my Belgian stud was out, and he had been fighting with the little hackney. You can tell they had some pretty good go-arounds because there's little marks all over the ground where they were fighting. Probably it looks like the Belgian won in the end because, excuse me, the hackney was in the shop hiding. Huh? All right. Shut this gate. Sorry for the disruption, guys. I just gotta get this gate shut. There we go. Well, I should probably head in where it's a little lighter. We're losing our daylight out here real quick. Won't be long till it's dark. So how are you guys' farms doing right now? I wanted to say welcome to all my new subscribers. Look at the last 2 days, I've had around 100 subscribers come on, new ones. Now here's some of the, well, you can't see, it's too dark. I was thinking maybe you could see the marks they made in the ground from when they were fighting, but it's just too dark to see. Head on in here where it's lighter. Lots of harvesting happening in the gardens right now. Almost frost a couple days. Oh, you know, here I saw a lot of people squash and corn was dead. They got frost and we didn't. People down on the low spots, it looks like they got frost. We're on a hill, so usually we get frost a lot later. Cool. Yeah, it's been cooler here too, but really nice weather. We haven't had any rain since I've been back. Maybe on the mist, maybe. But other than that, it's been nice. I've been working on the wood house and sawing lumber. And we just going as fast as we can. Hopefully we get a roof on before winter hits. Get under roof at least. Yeah, we cook with wood, so we have a fire every day. And it feels good now. You get in here, it's nice and warm, but it's cool outside. We were over, see, we have week of season 70s coming up with no rain. Yep, I sure hope I can get a lot of things done this next week. We got potatoes to harvest. I need to get to, hopefully get the second story of the house up. I'm not sure if I will be able to do it or not, but we'll see. I have enough logs cut. If I get a load of logs in, I'll be able to saw up for the main poles. And I went to got a load of lumber 2x8s from Joe Miller's, and he said I could just take them and then put them on keep track of how many I get and either trade or pay later. So that should help out a bit. I was worried I wouldn't be able to afford the lumber, but he said if I do it that way I don't have to pay right away. So that'll be nice to get at least hopefully get the house up. And if anybody wants to come help, you're welcome to come. We could really use at least one more guy to get that roof on. But if nobody shows up, I'll try. Yeah. So how are you guys all doing? You said your cooler weather looks like harvest time. First day of fall for us. I suspect we had beautiful week, and I hope next week will be nice. I'd show up if I were closer. Yeah, you're quite far as a ways away, Pete. I don't know how many miles it is, but it's not close. Yeah, it's I traveled to Maine once. You're in Vermont, but it's close up there. It's a ways up. Yeah, and plane tickets are probably pretty expensive. 1,500 miles. Yeah, it's a long way. It's probably I have not heard yet from Baker Creek, but they were talking about maybe that Jared wanted me to come down for the October Fall Festival, which if I do, I would go down the 10th. I think it's around the 9th or 10th of October to 11th, possibly the 12th, to be in Missouri. But we'll see what happens. He had talked about maybe having me sell seeds there at Baker Creek, which we could use the money, so I might do it. Haven't heard back for sure whether they'd actually decided to do it or not. But yeah, in California, we sold the first day between 33 and 35,000 seeds, pretty much. And then the second day we finished up what we had left. And the third day we had nothing.
Pack seeds.
Packs, yes. When I say seeds, they're correcting me and reminding me it was packages of seeds. Yeah, so it looks like the potato harvest was going to be good. We got all the plants are starting to fall over, which means we're getting close to harvest time. On the tobacco, it looks like we're going to get a second crop on some of them. Grow back second time. We'll see what happens. And like I said, if anybody didn't hear it, if anybody wants to do a chat with me, just message me and let me know, and I'll start a chat, because I enjoy talking to somebody else that I can actually see. I have a harder time just talking to the screen. Hey, Diggs, where's my coffee? Could you bring my coffee?
Sorry.
Some of my potatoes rot on the ground. We had more on them, which had too much rain this fall.
Dan's bringing you Davis, but where's your cup? Take it with?
It's in the van, probably. Yeah, we've had a pretty, I'd say, reasonably dry fall, so hopefully we won't have much rot. But I do need to get them dug. This year I got the garlic dug before they molded, so I've got nice garlic. In California, we were selling the garlic bulbs for $2 a piece the second day. The first day for $3 a piece, and we were getting $1 2 cloves of elephant garlic, and people were buying it up. I thought, boy, I sure wish I could sell my garlic for that price. I've got a bunch of it. I could do pretty good at that price. That coffee's no good. It tastes rotten. How long has that thing been sitting? Old Country Ranch, howdy. Issues with the phone. Yeah, I tried calling you, but didn't get an answer. We got back a little late from Levi's. We went and go check on the cow, see how she's doing. And she seems to be milking fine. They're enjoying the milk. Gave her some cheese. Eat a lot of raw garlic. Yeah, I do some too. I like to cut it up in little pieces and dry it out and put it on my potatoes. It's powdered garlic as well, or my eggs in the morning. And usually I have last year, just before the house fire, I had dried about 2 5-gallon buckets of garlic, and I had a supply for enough for over a year, and then it lost most of it in the fire, so I got to redo it. So this winter or this fall, I'll be cutting garlic again and drying it, so we can hopefully have more powdered garlic, so we don't have to buy it. Yeah, powdered garlic is quite expensive. Oh, on one note, I saw that one of the senators from one of the state congressmen had proposed a bill to ban government CBDCs, which I would be nice. I kind of doubt he'll get it passed because there's many people that want it. I don't like them things, and sure hope they don't do it, but I know they probably will eventually. This whole thing with the digital currency is not something I think is at all good for a free society. We see what happened in China with the Chinese system. That if you go against the state, then they cut you off from your money, which is not a good idea. There's Johnny and David. I can't hold all three, Anna. They always all want to be on the camera, so it's So in your state, are any of you familiar, or do you know of any banks that have already switched over? So I heard from Lynette Sang had a video. She said that 20 banks have already started running the CBDCs. I have no hope of having a good social credit score. I don't either. Yeah, I don't either. I'm pretty sure my social credit score would be pretty bad because I would probably be on the enemy of the state list. Not in Vermont yet, thankfully. So Vermont, not yet. Keep going to I don't come on. Sorry for the disruption. You can see. All right, now everybody can see. Hopefully, David, you can see right there. Anna's right here, and Johnny here. Yeah, I haven't heard of any banks right in this area, but they say there's about 20 of them and 21 trading houses that are already signed on to it. So it doesn't look too exciting. Denmark has now rejected the CBDCs completely. They said they started it, and then they decided, nope, we're not doing it, and completely reversed and said, no, not in our country. But Sweden's gone the opposite and they're pretty much gone cashless. So we have Sweden going cashless, Denmark saying no, which it's good to see at least one country in Europe resisting the CBDC push. Hopefully they will continue to resist it and other countries will follow, but we never know. I'm trying to be out of the bank entirely. Yeah, it'd be nice if we could get out of banks entirely. The only main reason I have it is in case that I need to buy a plane ticket or I can't find something I need to order. That's about the only reason normally I'm so poor I don't have much money in the bank to start with. So if someone gives me a check, which I don't like, but I don't get paid that much, so it's not that I can have that much money. Heard Bank of America and Chase has signed on, so they're basically all over the U.S. I could be mistaken though. Yeah, it sounded like Bank of America had. I don't know how far they've gone with it yet. Has it been to all people in the Bank of America or just some of them? But it's not going the way it should. It's not good, but I think the Bible says that time will come we can't buy or sell without having a mark. And if we don't have that mark, we won't be able to buy or sell. And I think we see those things coming to pass eventually with this. Watching, 10 watching, but only 4 likes. Don't forget to hit the like button. Let's go. Yeah, it's interesting how you see the world moves towards more and more a totalitarian system of control. Because if you think about it, the only reason why a CBDC would be any better than we have now would to give the bankers more control of what you do and what you spend your money on, and to know what you did, etc. I don't think it has any real value than what we have now. Hey, stop fighting. You're going to get down, okay? Yeah, they're eating cheese. I miss cheese when I was, since we haven't had the cow, we don't have as much cheese anymore. What's that? Oh, I probably could. My wife said I probably could milk the other cow, but well, my likes went down. That means somebody who liked it again and just unliked it, looks like.
That so cool.
Now it's back to 3 likes again, huh?
Cool.
Yep. Yeah, I did.
Hi guys.
Tonight we're drinking water. Coffee's not ready yet. My wife said she's working on the coffee. Yeah, I noticed the apples are pretty much all fallen this year, a little ahead of time. Normally a lot of the trees hang on till heavy frost and start falling when it gets cold. But we had a majority of our trees have already dropped their apples, which seems fall's coming faster that way. We got some really good mushrooms last week. Could be the government, like maybe. Yeah, we had some really good mushrooms. We found a patch of those white mushrooms. I forget the name of them, but boy, they were good. Almost tasted like chicken. I was thinking, boy, I should look for more mushrooms than I do. I see them quite a bit and don't pay much attention to them, but if you find one a good one like that, they're sure a good addition to a meal. Yeah, we're up to 6 likes. That's a little better. Thanks everyone for coming by. Like I said, if anybody wants to chat with me, just let me know and I'll send you a link. We have pigs, rabbits, bucking, goats for sale or trade. Yeah, that's right. We do have pigs for sale. Weaning pigs. We got some buck Nigerian dwarf goats, and we have about 20 rabbits. No pots, please, David. Okay. Summertime weather, woodhouse project looking good. Yeah, thanks, Bob. Yeah, I saw you're sawing a pretty big tree. That thing must have weighed a lot. We had a neighbor wants to sell an oak tree log, but she's wanting so much money for it. I told her I can't pay as much as she's wanting for it. So unless she drops her price, it's probably going to sit unless someone comes along and pays her a whole lot. But maybe she'll drop her price. We'll get it. Johnny, you need to stop moving around so much, please. You have to get normal, okay? So your cement probably cured up by now, Bob. So are you going to put wood on the walls or metal on your building, your house? I was thinking about my house. I noticed in Missouri, a lot of the Amish, they use sheets of shingle. They have like a shingle type roll. They'd roll onto their houses, about 3-foot sheets, and they just put a layer of it on, then one on top of that, and on top of that, and just like they overlap it a bit. And it's pretty weather resistant. I'm not sure the price of it, but it seems like it might be a good option instead of using siding right away. I put 1-inch boards on, and then big white pine burn. bearing end of bar. Metal exterior, wood interior. Okay, metal exterior. Yeah. Yeah, you know, I have a sawmill, so if you need logs, I saw for people. I saw this week a load of logs for Andy. I did them, and I'm also looking for logs to buy. If people have logs they want to sell in this area, let me know. I'll pay you by the board foot or the log. I scale with a Doyle scale, and I'm paying 18 cents. I fixed it. I glued it. I'm paying 18 cents a log foot on the foot, so we're figuring that's about 140 a quart. Let's see, did we get a message or not? No. I'll even pay maybe more than 140 if they're good. Because it'd be nice to. I can saw a whole lot faster if I have the logs at the mill than having to get them out of the woods. Takes a lot more time to cut the tree down, clean the branches up, pull the log out. And by the time I do that, with winter coming, hey, Johnny, du musst noch nicht geben, wenn du stoppst, okay? Now stop here, okay? Yeah, so Bob, we don't have any white pines on our place for some reason. We just got a bunch of red pines, a couple of jack pines and Scotch pines, but no white pines, not a one. I don't know why, but there are some places around here that do. Not our place. We have no tamarack either. Thankfully, Jeff down by St. Mary's was letting me cut tamarack at his place. There's an animal swap in Mastique on the 30th. Not sure how far away it is, but it could be a spot to unload a few animals. The 30th, Mastique. Mastique's quite a ways west of here. Northwest, I think.
800.
Boy.
No.
I watched a video called Fart Snacks, and it's a little old guy that farts on gummy bears. Well, I don't know why that would be of any use, practical use for anybody, but some people get a kick out of things that are. Friend brought it up in Manistee. Yes, I'm not sure how far actually Manistee gets from here. Can't say for sure. Maybe do you have any carpenter bees there? Yes, we do. We have a lot of them. All right. It'll stop so much on the We have a lot of them in the barn. They now they've pretty much disappeared, but in the summer we have a lot of bees in the barn. Solitary bees and carpenter bees. A couple different kinds, I think. When you walk by the barn, you'll hear them. It sounds like a beehive. There's so many of them. I think some of my shoulders moving. It's probably David behind me, or it may be Anna. They're not holding still, guys. Sorry for all the movement. They're being kind of fidgety. I have a little one here and a little one here who's pushing on me. Moved again. This is my shoulder here. There's my shadow behind me. Yeah, we don't have any spiders here, I think. David, come on. What? If you hold still, you can sit up here. If you don't, you can't, okay? All right, Johnny, there you go. He's not feeling happy because he wants to sit here and he'd be not holding still. It probably is my hair or my beard. My hair goes past my shoulders, so. Yeah, she's waving. Your lanterns are looking pretty bright tonight. Still diesel? Yeah, we're still burning diesel. We're burning the red diesel. Off-road diesel. Seems to work pretty good. We had some reason diesel's about the only thing we can get a lot of times. Kerosene's gotten hard to find. I'm not sure. Our closest place for kerosene is probably quite a ways from here. You know, the Sioux doesn't have a single gas station in all of the Sioux that sells kerosene, except they sell it in Tractor Supply, but the price per gallon is quite high. So we just go with diesel.
Last time we got it was $5 a gallon.
Where?
Pittsburgh.
Diesel?
No, the kerosene.
Oh, kerosene. Well, kerosene was $5. Anna, you gotta stop squirming around so much. You're being way too crazy. Boy, the little ones, they're just all wound up tonight. I don't know what it is.
No naps.
No naps. It's getting hard to find stones around here with stores right here with kerosene. Yeah, I think kerosene is going out of use. It's not as common as it used to be. A lot of people don't use it, and there's still people around here that burn just regular crude oil in their furnaces, but they don't sell it usually at the gas stations. You got to buy it from an oil supplier. I suppose that would also work in lamps, but I never tried it. I kind of wish we could go back to the old motors where you could burn anything: diesel, gas, kerosene, oil. They say the early motors, a lot of them you could burn a lot of stuff, different things in them, and they work. But these modern motors, you get to where you can't burn all the different things. Now, I was out in California. I saw that gas was over $6 a gallon in a lot of places. So the price is higher in California than here. And boy, food prices in California was amazing. I mean, I thought Michigan was bad. You go to California, it's even higher. And all them people, you look down from the plane, it's like millions of people scattered all over the West Coast. Yeah, it's. I feel bad for all the people in those cities. If something ever happened, their food and water would be in short supply, probably. Yeah, so went into Walmart to get some stuff. I needed some buttons and thread. And I'd say at least half the packs in Walmart were, or half this stuff on the shelves, there was a packs hanging empty, where people had come in and taken the stuff out of the packs and left the pack there. Quiet. Yeah, it's pretty sad to see that. It's like you realize the society is coming to the point where Anna, you gotta stop. Go to mom. Okay, go. Society's getting to the point where they don't have a moral code and they just steal. It's sad because if you were a store, that'd be really hard with all those people stealing your stuff. So, the way I understand it, they can't prosecute you if it's not over $500. So people get away with it. Yeah, it was quite a busy. We were pretty busy setting up and breaking down, but I did get to visit with some people out there and meet some new ones. I don't know if any of them are on here tonight, but I did kind of enjoy the festival. I think we had the best sales we've ever had before. People were buying seeds, lots of them. Is the coffee about ready? All right. So Pete, did you you said you did harvest all your potatoes already? I was out in California. I bought a type of potato called yellow rose. I'm gonna try it next year. It's a russet type potato with a little bit of a little pink color on it on the peel, and they look quite interesting. They were nice looking potato. Quite expensive. I bought $18 worth of these yellow, well, not quite 2 pounds. They were selling $10 a pound for seed potatoes. But we'll hopefully save them over winter and plant them next spring. We'll try a new variety. I've got right now I've got red, white, russet, and yellow. I personally, if I had to pick a potato, I would pick russet, most likely, or white. I'm not quite as fond of reds. I find them more earthy flavored.
I'm going with russets and yellows.
My wife likes yellow better than reds or whites, but we do have a lot of reds this year. We'll probably have a good amount of reds. I planted about 8 rows of reds. Not all the potatoes, just 70 pounds so far. Russets plants are fairly green, which is obvious time of year. Yeah, our plants our reds are still pretty green. I think most of our reds haven't even started showing any signs of dying yet. But the whites, the russets, and the yellows are starting to show signs they're getting ready. The russets look like they're the furthest along. I think we're gonna have more yellows this year than I was planning on, but maybe if we have extra, we'll sell some. We don't usually sell them because we eat them all year, but we should have enough to last us till next harvest if we have, if everything goes like it should. Don't freeze any over winter or have any rot. No signs of dying back from black spots and leaves. Maybe too much rain off or sun. Yeah, it could be. I see on the smoke. There's a website that shows where the smoke is, and it looks like the smoke's coming again from Canada. Hasn't quite made it here yet, but it's coming. There's more fires in BC, Alberta, and Saskatchewan burning, and they're heading this way. Smoke. So we should, in the next couple of days, see a lot of smoke again. Usually it takes a day or two before it hits us from when it's burning up there. Is anybody on the chat familiar with the daughter settlement, the Gorey Mennonite settlement in Canada that's just over the river of St. Mary's Channel from where we are? One of my old friends I heard moved there. If you go down Sault Ste. Marie about 45 miles southeast, or south and east, there's about 20 and 30 families that live in there on the horse and buggy Mennonites in Canada. I want to go there sometime and visit, but I looked up a bit, and it looks like they look almost like Amish. You wouldn't see much of a difference. Some of them have mustaches, so that's Amish don't have mustaches usually. Say hi, David.
Hi.
Does anybody have any questions? Or any subjects they want to talk about? It's been the same fires burning up there this year whole year.
That sad bees. That sad bees.
What bees?
The beehive yesterday.
Oh. Yeah, my wife wants me to tell you guys about what happened yesterday with our bee boxes. I hadn't got bees this year because I didn't have money couldn't afford the swarms. But we had a hive last year that just died out. They didn't even before it got cold, they were gone. And trying to think, the bees found the boxes yesterday. David asked me for some honey, and I went over there to check on it and get some honey in there. There was thousands of bees flying in the shop, and I was like, oh boy, we better get this honey away from them before we lose it all. So I brought the boxes here in the house. Yeah, the wife thinks they're in our way, but I told her it's better we keep our honey from getting eaten than we just leave it out there. I'll work on that. The Sister Church in Jolin, Tennessee, Canada. Yeah, the group in Canada, Brett, is they're over from Maine. There's a group called the Peter Gerber group. They're up there, and they're on the Maine side. These are the Gorey. They're what they call Gorey Mennonites. They're the conservative Mennonites, and they look pretty much same as Amish. You wouldn't see much difference except the mustaches, and some of them have a different type. They have different type of bonnets, and they have on the ladies' caps. They have black bands. Can you say amo en mis hijos? Amor mis hijos. Yeah, yo hablar poquito español. I mean español poquito. más entiende un poquito hablar. Delano Amish, I think there are no motors in any kind of group. It sounds like to me, last I heard, Pete, is the Delano group is with Scottsville, which they don't use any gas motors or diesel motors. They just use horsepower, wind, water, etc. And I personally, that's the way I want to go. I want to try to get away from the gas motors and try to use just horsepower, water, or wind. At this point, we're still using the gas motor for pumping water and the sawmill, but
And the washing machine.
my goal in the future is to get off that and go
the
the
washing
washing machine. I want to try to go off the motors and get onto the other sources of power. Yeah, it's tough to find stuff these days when you look for equipment. Some of the equipment's hard to find. It's getting more expensive, it seems like. See the draft horse price. It's still staying pretty high. They're selling a 18, 20-year-old mare still for between $1,200 and $1,500. And that's pretty much a worn-out horse, and they're still bringing over 1,000. Yeah, it's been. I've actually never been to Delano myself. I lived in Scottsville, Kentucky for 6 months, and I used to work at they had a sawmill down at the water wheel. So they run the sawmill with a water wheel, and then when the water wasn't high enough, we'd use horsepower. So I did help there at the sawmill, and some. I didn't work regular there, but off and on. And I also used to shoe horses 2 days a week there in Scottsville. I had people coming from South Tennessee bringing horses all the way across the state to come to have their horses shoed. I sure wish people here would do that. We have this year's been pretty slow. All horse prices seem high. Yeah, they are. They are high. It's I think part of it is the meat market's going strong again, and also there's a lot of Amish couples marrying. And for every Amish couple that marries, more horses are needed as the new farms start or new family starts up. They need horses, and there's the population of the Amish is doubling every 20 years. So, being not everybody raises horses, there's a high demand for drafts, standardbreds, buggy horses, ponies. That's a lot of the reason I think the prices are so high. Is the increased population of the Amish churches. There's been Thursday is going to be a double wedding at Joe Miller's. His two of his girls are getting married. One's marrying Sam Miller and one's marrying Jakey Miller. So there'll be two more families in the other group over here. Yeah, I'm glad to hear they're getting some more weddings. We had all right, what's your question? Motivacato? Huh? It looks like it might be Spanish. I couldn't say for sure. I'm not familiar with that kind of writing, but yeah, the question? I was hoping to get the cell. Can I learn English with music? I believe yes. I actually learned the way I learned High German was listening to the preaching and singing the songs in the books. See, we have I'll show you here. I can find my book. The Amish sing out of this the Osbund. That's backwards. Anyhow, I would sing along, and that's how I learned German, is by singing along in church or in the singings. And I can read and understand High German well now, and I never learned it any other way of singing along with the music. So I think if you're with a group that sings with a book, you can follow along and learn the words just by singing. So yeah, it's possible. I actually was born, my parents spoke English, so I grew up speaking English. So I don't really know. Some people say English is a hard language to learn. I learned High German, Plattdeutsch, Pennsylvania German. I speak Spanish pretty good and a little Russian. So I found German for me was quite easy to learn. It was a easier language than a lot of the other ones for me. It just makes more sense in my mind. Some of the other languages I have a hard time pronouncing the words, especially like Chinese. Oh, Chinese, I just had a real hard time. I'm from Michigan. Yeah, I wasn't originally from here, but that's where I live now. So at this point, I'm from Michigan. I was born in Colorado, but never lived there long. My parents moved away when I was a baby, so I don't remember it. But I can say of my family, I'm the only one born east of the Continental Divide. The rest of my family was all born west of the Continental Divide. And my immediate family, and then my further back, you go one generation back, they're almost all scattered over Idaho, California, Utah, Texas, and I think there's also some in some other states in the West. But most of my family would be in the West. And then mom's side, they were in California. Yeah, I think I heard my uncles actually moved out of California in the last year. I've had 3 uncles move out. They still own places in California, but they moved other places. I'm trying to learn Russian, but it's very difficult. So what I do with Russian, I listen to some Russian movies occasionally, and I listen and I watch the subtitles, and that way I'm learning the words. So when I hear the word, I know what it means. Now I'm not so good at speaking it yet, but when I hear it, I know what they're saying. I find it easier for me to learn listening to it or reading. Reading for me, Russian is extremely hard because the letters or the letters don't seem to match up at all with English. So if you look at it like a U or A or R, the sound is different. Where German and English, you have a very similar alphabet. I mean, most of the letters, like in German, it's A, B, C, D, F, K, A, H. So it's very similar to A, B, C, D, F, G. It wasn't that hard to figure out the sounds of the German compared to English. English is a Germanic language.
I think Johnny passed out.
My coffee. Oh, sounds like I got my coffee maybe. Yeah, got the fresh coffee. I live in Texas. I've got a brother in Texas. I've got a brother in Houston, and I've got uncles in Texas. I have at least 3 uncles in Texas. The land prices in Texas, they say, are going up quite high. Been raising quite high. Yeah, all my relatives are leaving California. Like I said, they're moving out of California, and they're moving either to Texas or Montana, I believe. So I hear. I've still got an aunt in Texas that hasn't left yet. But yeah, I'd say if you're in California, I would advise you get out of California. There's too many people there. And if things go the way I think they will, it's going to be real hard to survive in California. Yeah, my brother runs a landscaping company in Texas, and he grows herbs for my dad. My dad grows cooking herbs in Missouri, but in Texas he grows herbs in the wintertime for my dad. Yeah, the cooking herb business, the fresh cut herbs are becoming more in high demand, so they're doing pretty good in the business. I would like to try to start a northern seed company, and I want to find more people interested and try to get a group of people together growing seed and then put a catalog together and try to get a northern seed company going, just because it seems like all these companies, a lot of the varieties you get from them don't do well in the north. Brazil. I've never been to Brazil. I traveled to a lot of South America. I went to Bolivia, Ecuador, Colombia, not Costa Rica, Chile. That's Central America. But I've never been to Brazil. I heard for an American to go to Brazil, it costs quite a bit of money. Or maybe I have to have a visa. I think I had the visa. But Bolivia cost me $150 to get in and $25 to get out. And I asked them why. I said, "Well, I don't live in Belize. I live in Belize. I'm not an American." And they said, "I'm American born, but I'm not an American." They said, "Well, you're born in America, so we treat you like an American." And I tried to argue with a bit, but they took me in the back of machine guns, and I changed my mind. Yeah, Bolivia is a big country, and it's a lot. The only country I've ever been to that seems so, when you go back in the jungles on the Amazon side, it's just trees, lots of big trees. Everything's bigger than everywhere else down in South America, Central America. Very wild country. It's hard to make a living there, but things are cheap. So if you come with money, you can do good. I mean, you could buy a whole farm for just between $5,000 to $8,000. You could have a nice farm, a house, buildings, and everything. Where in the U.S., find that you'd have a really hard time finding a small lot. I saw that Kentucky land taxes are pretty low compared to up here. Look like Titus Morris, I heard say he pays a little over close to $200 a year in Liberty, Kentucky area, and for 40 something acres, and we're paying, or 50 something acres, we're paying over 16,000 a year for 80. 1,600. Sorry, my wife, I don't say $1,000. $1,600 an acre for 80 acres here. So I'd say land tax is probably cheapest. It's Brazil more. So Brazil's got a high tax. Yeah, Belize had a real cheap tax too. If you were a farmer, you had 25 acres free, which you didn't get taxed on, and they taxed you over the amount of 25 acres per acre. So say you had 100 acres, the first 25 was free that you lived on, and the 75 would be taxed per acre, about $3 an acre. So they had a real low tax, and you could pay it 3 years in advance. That was nice. But a lot of the roads in Belize are either privately maintained, and like all the Mennonites, they do their own roads, their own communities. They pretty much have their own countries inside Belize. They have their own laws, their own rules. 16,000 a year, 1,600 a year, wonderful compared to here. So it's more there than here. Yeah, we're in this part of Michigan. We're in the highest tax county in the Upper Michigan, and Chippewa County is the highest of all the counties. But I think part of the reason is because of the reservation. The Indians don't pay land tax on their land, so that it kind of raises it on everybody else. The millages go higher a lot of times. A nice cup of coffee now. So, have you ever been to the Vermont ties the state with wide education taxes? Property taxes make them really high. And so, and here's the same thing, Pete. I think our taxes here, about half of them go to the state schools. And I don't like that one bit. I mean, for me, it's like, I feel like if you don't send your kids to school, why are you paying for their schools? But they have made it that way that half of our taxes basically go to the schools. So about, what?
Yeah, I have to make a child when I in the background.
David, stop. In Belize, all the schools were privately or church owned. So the state didn't engage in any schooling. And I personally think a government should not have or should not involve themselves in the schooling of the children. It's too easy to get what we see now with all the propaganda they're teaching in the schools being pushed by a corrupt government. I would say definitely I don't support the government schools. But the world's the way it is. Enough people have to get together to oppose it, and I don't. It seems like a lot of people here just accept it as it is and go on.
You're talking about that family heard about being exported from homeschool.
Well, yeah, that's happened to more people. Germany's really hard against homeschoolers. Back in the day when we first, my mom first started homeschooling, we never went to school. We were homeschooled, And back then it wasn't so popular. There wasn't many people doing it. And now there's a lot more people doing it. But I remember back when I first, people really looked at my mom and dad crooked because they're like, "Well, you what? You homeschool?" Yeah. Yeah, I think it would. See, like for us, we make a very low income, and we don't even come into the category of income taxes. If we did file, we would get money from the government, which I don't want to. But if we don't make enough to come under the to get taxed, we would actually get a handout, which I don't want. I think it would be better to put the education taxes, if they had any, based on people's income or their children, maybe number of children. Hey, David, chill, please. So, Motivacato Daria, have you ever been to the Amazon? I've always in my mind wanted to see the Amazon, but never got there. I've been pretty close though. I was in the highlands of Bolivia. I went up to the Runibaque, Beni area of Bolivia. So I would have been in the basin, but not actually on the Amazon River. In the headwaters of the Amazon, on the Andes Mountains. That was lots of water there. Get off against that, please. Leave me. No. No, why me? On live stream, okay? Does anybody have any questions? I'll probably get the kids to bed. They haven't had naps today, so they're all tired. What's that? Yeah, Johnny already fell asleep. David's awake, but I remember homeschooling banned in Texas a few years in the 80s. Really? Yeah, I didn't know. We were in Missouri, and back then, I didn't know many homeschooling families at that time. There was only a very small number that actually homeschooled. It wasn't very common. But it's become more common now, especially in Missouri. There's a lot of them. And here in Michigan, some. Maybe not as many as Missouri. But I know Missouri and Kentucky have quite large numbers of homeschoolers, which is good to see because you see kids growing up as... I think homeschooling brings out more free thinkers if they're done the right way. If children are just brought up in a system where they have to comply, they have to follow the rules. It was now more post-pandemic. Yeah, what I noticed for me, I think homeschooling played a big part in the way I live is because I always questioned what I heard, didn't really like society in general, how it is, saw it as going the wrong way. And if I had been in school, I don't know how much I would have, I probably wouldn't have been well liked by my teachers. I probably would have asked too many questions and probably been too active. I think my kids are so active, I don't know, they wouldn't do well in the public school because they move around too much. It seems like my kids are even worse than I was about not holding still. I think it has a lot to do with they have a lot of energy, and then, which means in the future they'll hopefully be good workers. Hey, no scoochie, please. But I'd advise everybody who could to homeschool because I think it gives the kids more of a chance to progress at their own rate, so to say. I mean, if you want to go faster than the rest of the kids in the school, you can't as much, or not as well. And also, I think the whole thing of learning to comply with the system is dangerous because we need people who are independent, free thinkers who will stand alone without being in the system. And the system of this world, I don't think is very stable. I know a lot of people don't realize how unstable it is, but I would say it's, in my estimation of things, the system we have today is so unstable that if there was ever a disaster or something, you would see a lot of hardship because of people's dependence upon systems, electric systems, or the phones, the internet. I would say, like Emma says, Trump for 2024. I don't engage in either party. I consider either party to be basically different heads of the same bird. They don't. Trump, to me, he the nuts are coming off the wheels. I dropped a VHS and passed my GED a month later and got a job, and everybody else was finishing up. Yeah, it's like, I feel like when Trump was in office, he was better than Biden, but he spent more money than any president before him. He still gave Fauci a lot of power, which I didn't like. And his son-in-law, Jared Kushner, owns the Rad chip factory, those chips they want to put in our hands to run their digital money system. And I don't like that one bit. I think if this government, the only way this country will change is from small individual people doing or living an independent, self-sufficient life that will make the country more stable, because the country is only as stable as its families and farmers. And I don't think that you'll get stability from the top down. It's got to be from the bottom up. And unless the people are able to be independent of the systems as much as they can, then I feel they're too easily controlled and too easily destabilized. It's kind of a scary position we're in, because 100 years ago, 1920, you see pictures of San Francisco and you think, wow, how San Francisco's changed in 100 years. I mean, now there's tents all over the place, homeless people, drugs, just absolute things are falling apart, all kinds of people stealing. And you see pictures from 1920 from San Francisco, and the city looks beautiful. I mean, the people are dressed decently, and it seems like they have a yeah, let them make it so great again. That seems to be the agenda of a lot of Republicans. They're more concerned about Israel than America. I would say I don't engage in voting just for the fact I don't think I think it's a rigged system. I don't think it really makes much difference. I mean, theoretically, it would be good maybe to state we don't support certain things, but in the actuality, who wins office is not really something we could decide. It's like all presidents that have been in office, all except JFK. I do doubt highly that JFK was with the rest of the gang, because he seemed to have been of a different. He was shot, and I know Reagan had talked about turning back to maybe a silver standard. And JFK had started printing silver certificates. He had started planning on going back to a silver and gold standard, and then they shot him. And the next president right after him reversed it and put the U.S. back on the Federal Reserve note. And Reagan had talked about it, and he got attempt on his life. So I think a lot of this has to do with this monetary system that's taken our country and the world, basically, controlled by these bankers. And they do not want people to come out of their bondage. What's that? Oh. Yeah, I've said it before, I'll say it again. If you read the book or listen to the audiobook of The Creature from Jekyll Island, I think it's a real good eye-opener to what's been going on in the banking system. And even now, this whole digital money system, it all ties back to this idea of a few people controlling the masses, and the masses not being aware they're being controlled. It's just amazing how many people don't realize what's happened in the last 100 years between 1920 and now. I mean, it's like, if I could turn back to 1920, I would gladly go back and try to stay And if you think about like the Amish, your kids are tearing your house down. Oh, the kids are all right. They're just playing. I think Johnny fell asleep and David's in bed and Anna is playing with her chair. Like I said, I don't support either party and don't vote. So I would say just I want to see people be self-sufficient, free of the system, every system, if they can possibly be, and then live a life where we can help our neighbors get ahead instead of this monetary system where we make money and then it gets devaluated and inflation takes away our buying power. The inflation hurts the poorer class of people a lot more than it does the rich ones. But I think if we could somehow keep our money on a standard like gold standard or a more non-variable, I think we'd be better off. But at this point, it keeps inflating. Sounds like Spanish Lookout. Yeah, I like Spanish Lookout. I really like that community. That was one of the best places I ever lived in my life. The Titanic movie, only something about the billionaires that died who were against the reserve. Yeah, it's true. A lot of people who were against the Federal Reserve died. It's pretty obvious that they don't want to lose power, and they want to control our money because they're making a lot of money off of us. And if we didn't pay in, they would have nothing. Or we didn't use their money. They're using our labor, and they're just siphoning off. It's actually if you look at it, it's a cartel, and a parasitic type cartel. But I don't think the best thing I'd say is we need to try to grow our own food, raise our own seeds, raise our animals, help each other get along with an independent lifestyle, and we'll be less dependent upon the systems that are out there. But well, I'll let you guys all go for tonight. Hope you have a good night. Haven't seen you for a while. You still in Belize? Good night.
Good night.